Alex ended up at Child Crisis Arizona when he was 2.5. After a few reports to Department of Child Safety, his birth mom had to relinquish her custody of him, and he came to Child Crisis Arizona. A very boundaryless child, because he had been able to run free, and very non-trusting, very scared. And it was through the help of Child Crisis Arizona that he was able to become secure. And during his almost 14 months here at the shelter, he developed friendships with the staff and the volunteers. He was taken from his mom because of neglect. I believe his mom loved him. I think every parent loves their child. But the best thing that I think his mom did for him was she knew her boundaries. She knew what she wasn't able to do. She loved him enough to be able to say to him, I'm gonna let you go. And that you are important to me, but you're gonna be better taken care of by someone else. He had had so many people who cared about him and worked with him, and all of them loved him. And what he needed then, when he came to me, was permanence. Alex has taught me who Sean is. He has given me something more than I can ever give him. And I look at him and I think, you didn't pick, you didn't choose the first part of your life. You didn't sit there and say, I want to have a rough start. But the start that you had made him who he was. It's interesting because one of his foster parents said to me at one point, he's always said that he wants to be a dad. I hope I can be that role model. I hope I can be the dad that he says that he wants to be. If that's what I can do for him, then I'm okay with that.
I have always wanted to be a foster parent ever since I was a little girl, and I was in a position to. I decided to move forward with becoming a foster parent, and I reached out to Child Crisis Arizona, had my first orientation, took all the MAP classes, and became licensed. And I've had the best licensing workers, the best resources, and the best support that I think I could have ever gotten. I was licensed on June 12th, and I had my first placements on June 24th. It was an interesting experience because I'm a single mom, and at the time I had not been a parent. After my first 2 foster children left, I took a 4-month-old little baby boy. He was a medically fragile baby. I received the phone call that he was in Phoenix Children's Hospital and that he had some hairline fractures on his skull from abuse. But I didn't expect to find a small 4-month-old baby boy in this huge hospital bed with a feeding tube through his nose. But within 2 weeks of living with me, he didn't need the feeding tube anymore. When I first took him home, and he was really happy and trusting with me, but there were times if I held him a certain way that he would get scared, thinking I was going to drop him. And I really had to build trust with him that I wasn't going to hurt him. My foster son is now adopted by the relatives that took him into their care. My next placement, which was my lucky number 7 foster child, and he was 4 days old at the time. My son is the light of my life. I love him so much. So he's changed everything. So happy all the time, and I'm gonna cry. Sometimes I still can't believe that I get to watch him grow up, because I sent so many children back home to their parents. But now I get to see him go to school, graduate high school, maybe get married, go to college. Because I do wonder about my previous foster children and how much I'm going to miss out of their lives. I originally became a foster parent to help families stay together and to help with reunification. And through that process, I've fostered 9 children and adopted 1. I'm continuing to be a foster parent because I still think it's important to help the children. The number of children in foster care in Arizona There are so many children out there. There's not enough foster homes. And it is hard to open up your home because it changes your life, but it changes your life for the better.
Well, we have an older son who's 25, and we decided we would have more children, but we had a lot of trouble. And we did have a son, but he got trisomy 13, and he only lived for a couple of days.
Evan was a beautiful gift for us that we were very excited when we found out we were pregnant with him. We were blessed with the short 2 days that he was here. People started approaching us about, well, have you ever considered foster care? Jim got the call for our youngest. He was 17 months at the time. He also has a 3-year-old little sister, and they need to be placed together. When will the kids be coming to our home? When will the placement happen? October 25th. Well, October 25th was
Our son's birthday.
was Evan's birthday to the day. We wanted them to understand and know that their other mommy and daddy loved them, but they just couldn't keep them safe. And for months, JoJo had nightmares every night, and we just couldn't even imagine how are you 17 months old and not even 2 years old and having nightmares that wake you up in the middle of the night.
And they were in the hospital for a week with the little boy had burns on his legs and I think a lacerated spleen. It was the result was a 500-page hospital report for the week they spent there, and that we would never want to see it.
Look at our son. He's such a goofy kid who loves to make people laugh. And Abby is so astute and independent. She has a very guarded nature because she was in the situation longer. When she came, she was 3 years old and trying to take care of a 17-month-old. We felt like we were answering a calling, and these children have been such a
blessing.
They need your help. And if not you, then who?